I'm back. Right now I'm off the trail of ARROYO here in O'Neill Park. Went another couple miles. I'm 5 miles out now. Decided to take my lunch, have myself a Cliff Bar and some Gatorade. But we're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to talk. So let me show you where I'm at right now. This came from off there. Came down this little trail to this little cozy area here. Very autumn in the colors. Pretty tree. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, we're going to talk. So as I had said in my other short, give you a little history of myself. So I'm going to put my phone down here. And so where do I start? Well, let's go ahead and just say I'm going to do this over multiple sessions here. So I would title this "Love is a Battlefield." Yeah, because love is a battlefield. And where do we start? I'm in my early 50s, and had always lived with my mom and my grandmother. And we decided to take a trip to San Francisco one day, but it didn't start that way. It started off, had to be, I don't know, early 90s. You could probably look it up, when they had the Christo exhibit. Famous artist, Christo. You can look that up. And he had put his umbrellas up on the Grapevine here and going up to LA, dropping down into the valley. I know, early 90s, 91, 92. And we saw it in the newspaper at the time. And said, hey, let's just kind of make a day trip up there. So we went up there. And my relationship with my mom, like I said, I would have been, 20, 21, maybe 22. It was an okay one, for the most part. I was always a challenged child, hyperactive, they would call it back in the 70s, but now it's turned as ADHD. So I had a lot of difficulties growing up. Therefore, my mom kept me very socially isolated. So I didn't have a normal childhood like most people did. And in ways I did, but in a lot of ways I didn't. I didn't develop the social skills that, say, my brother did. I have a younger brother who's moved on with his life, married, and has children. He has a nice life. But he got out of the whole relationship a long time ago. He was more in tune to things than I was, so I'm going to light up my pipe and we'll talk here. So anyways, yeah, so anyways, we decided to take that trip up to the Grapevine to see the Christo exhibit, the big yellow umbrellas. And once we saw it, we decided to, hey, let's just keep on going. We had a little map book at the time from AAA, and my grandmother was with us, and she just said, hey, well, let's never been to San Francisco. It was 700 miles away from where we were. We weren't exactly packed for it. Just had some snacks and waters and the clothes on our back, and in the vehicle that my mom was driving at the time. And we decided to make that trip all the way up to San Francisco, and pulled in late that night. It was Fleet Week, and of course all rooms were booked. We stopped at multiple places along the way in San Francisco, and finally ended up going into the La Meridian in downtown San Francisco. And looking like disheveled people. Of course, my grandmother had all the money at the time. We lived in her house growing up over the years. So she was a woman that had been married multiple times, but divorced multiple times. But she was very proud of what she had, because she made it all on her own. And so I don't know. Somehow she had family convinced that she was a great person, because she had stuff. Like I said, I don't understand the relationship um, between my mom and her. And so, anyways, we stayed the night there, and then decided to journey back home. And then my mom and grandma got talking about, oh, that was fun, and we should head up to Oregon. Never been up there ever before, but never been anywhere other than Southern California in all our lives. We took a couple trips to Greece when we were younger, late teens. But outside of that, um, we all had spent our whole life pretty much in Southern California, LA, Orange County area. And so they decided to start, my mom and grandma decided to go up to Oregon over the next few years and spend time up there, and they ended up falling in love with it up there. And they started taking me on my time off. I had worked for a bank at the time in town. Um, yeah, I could just walk right across the street and go to work, come home. And I had a car at the time when I was going to junior college at Cypress. I only did a year, realized it wasn't for me. Decided to work full time for the bank. I was always a difficult student, just struggled. I mean, I graduated with B's, but it had its challenges. I know that. And I'm not saying I was an easy child to deal with, having my problems with my mom. But now that I hear things from family and start understanding more, my mom had a lot of issues too. So, but I believe she got all her issues from her own mother. Her own mother was, at least from what I saw and how I was treated, was a very manipulative, narcissistic person, very masterful in her ways. Um, it's funny because now I hear that no one really liked her. I mean, I talked to certain relatives in the family, even though I guess they relied on her in some ways, but she worked them for everything they had in some ways. And I'm sure they had their own issues with her. I'm only speaking about this because both my mom and my grandmother have passed away. My mom passed away in September 6th, 2021 on Labor Day, after 13-year battle with the complications of MRSA and what that ended up doing to her body. And then my grandmother passed away in January 2020. And I just recently found that out a while ago from my brother, who decided to go see my uncle and get the story about that. But we'll get into that at a later time. But anyways, so my mom and grandma decided to just start going up to Oregon and got me involved in my last few years of working at the bank. I took all my vacation time with them. And the agenda was always their agenda, nothing that I wanted to see along the way. You know, it was always just driving to a hotel and having room service and getting on the road and going to the next place and going to maybe an outing every now and then along the way. But my needs on any of those trips were never met. Things I wanted to do, things I wanted to see, because I didn't have the money. So therefore, I didn't have the power or the persuasion to be a person stronger than I should have been. Again, like I said, I did not develop these skills, and I was held back in a lot of ways. Since I've been down here, I have my own psychiatrist, and I started going to therapy, and they both diagnosed me with having CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, with Stockholm syndrome, and still difficult for me to talk about it. But we'll do this along the way, so I'm not going to make this very long. But I know my brother's talked to me about things, and he can only help me so much. That's why I started going to therapy on his instruction. But there's things that they can't work out. I don't feel I'm getting any help from the therapists. Therefore, I stopped going about almost a year ago now. Tried some male therapists, which I felt like I was getting headway with, and then they ended up leaving. And then these two female therapists. The first one, after talking to me for an hour, totally shamed me and blamed me for everything. I was very infuriated with the woman, although I didn't say anything to her. She asked, "Do you want to come back?" And I said, "Well, I'll give you a try again." And she then ended up on my next session the following week referring me to another woman, someone much younger than herself. And she wasn't much better. It was like talking to a sister that really kind of didn't want to be in the session with you. It's kind of like she was like doing her job, but just her overall manner was not that great. So I ended up giving up on that after 4 sessions, and now I just see my psychiatrist. But we don't talk much because the sessions are very short. So therefore, I'm left to my own to figure things out. I don't quite like the telehealth experience. I tried that for a while. I'm a one-on-one person. I like to see people. You can really feel what they're trying to do with you. And there's just something that I don't get from talking to a person on the screen in general. So, but anyways, I think that's where we're going to leave it right now. This will be episode 1 on this channel. I know this is not the normal thing I talk about, but I wanna make this channel a little more of my travels and my hiking and talking about my experiences, and I hope that everyone that is watching would like to join me and listen to what I have to say about life in general, my experiences. So, for those that are watching, if you've enjoyed this and gotten any value out of it so far, like and subscribe. It would help my channel grow very much. So, everyone take care, and we won't do this heavy conversation that often. But I would like to start making conversations along the way about my life. That way you guys kind of get a feel of who I am and where I am now and why I made this channel originally, which was all going to be about hiking and all that, because that's what I really like. So, but anyways, everyone take care, and I will see you next time on my next adventure. Take care, everyone.